beautiful people, and welcome back. Well, where were we? Oh, okay, here we go. This is another soulful session of Mondays with Mondane, and this is where we dive deep into the rhythm of life, love, I like that part, and liberty. And of course, we can never forget democracy. I'm your host, Edie Mondane, and I'm ready to groove with you through the beats of this whole week. And it's up to us to keep the rhythm of democracy alive and kicking. And we got to do it together. Otherwise, it don't make any difference. Tonight, we have a very special guest. He's joining us, and he's not from Mars or Venus. He's someone who is instrumental in helping me share an important message through music. Welcome, Edgar Navas.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Founder of, how do you pronounce that?
Clicka Digital.
Clicka Digital.
How you doing, Pastor?
Right here in Portland, Oregon.
Hey, we're based out of Portland, born and bred, yes.
Edgar and his team are directing the media campaign for my latest project, a song that's both a rallying cry and a tribute to the spirit of this country. And once again, I'm going to say, welcome, Edgar.
Thank you so much, Pastor. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
It's an honor for you to be here with us.
Yes.
It's been, I'm excited to have you on. But before we dive into the heart of this discussion, tell us a little bit more about Clicka, what you do and what you aspire to be.
So basically what we do, we were born out of necessity. We built at Clicka, we built technology for the underrepresented. That's been our mantra from day one. And what do we mean by that? We started building apps, web pages
for the underrepresented. Tell me what that is.
It's underbanked, underrepresented minorities, people that have been left out of the digital world. So starting in the 2000s, like we know, we had an explosion in Web 1.0, like we said, Web 2.0. Now we're in Web 3.0, and a lot of people don't even in Black and brown founders, Black and brown entrepreneurs don't even know what that means. Mm-hmm. So our reason of existence is to bridge that digital divide little by little, because as we progress and as this new digital economy exploded during the pandemic, when we were all locked down, we realized that a lot of our businesses, again, Black and brown, were disappearing simply because we didn't have a simple presence online. Mm-hmm. So that's our job, to make sure that we bring all of these amazing stories, amazing people to compete in the new world.
Well, that's really important in terms of what I love to call you. Everybody knows that I'm a marginalized society fan, trying to get people in the marginalized society up to snuff. And we don't think about the technology when we think about that, because it's we're so busy living the mundane life, not the Mondane life. But the day exercise of just breathing. So we forget how technology. Thank you.
It's important because, like you said, we have this idea or necessity. We open up a business, and the first thing to do is roll up our sleeves and start building, cooking, cleaning. But we don't think of how are we going to advertise? How are we going to get our businesses known? And the number one part, we're all on our phones, not even computers anymore. We're on our phones. So the only way that we can reach you, that we know that you exist as a business, is if you have a digital presence. Websites, social media, your Google profile. So all those things. And then we go beyond. We build apps, payment systems, etc. But from the beginning, and that's, again, part of what we realized during the pandemic, our businesses were disappearing. Ours, Black and brown, at a disproportionate rate simply because we were not online. We were not discoverable. So when everybody else was in the comfort of their house, we that have the opportunity to work from home, we were ordering online. Well, we weren't ordering from our own businesses because we don't exist. So that's the part that we're addressing right now. We, through legislation, through action, and advocacy as well, and letting people know that this is not just something that you should think you should have maybe in the future in your business. This is from day one. This is your presentation card.
He said something. We don't exist. The census has failed us terribly. In the last two censuses, this last census was a bloodbath for the black and brown communities because we are undercounted. And they tell us that if we undercounted, the word that you just used, non-existent.
We do not exist. Yes.
And if the hard to count community.
Absolutely.
Geez.
Yeah, and we specialize in community, but mostly in businesses. And again, if you're not online, where we are looking with the rest of the world, the digital economy searching for products or services, well, you simply do not exist. So you're not participating. And we see a lot of great things coming out of the government. Let's invest in infrastructure. Let's bring all these super digital super highways. But we're like, wow, are we building the on ramps and the vehicles for us to participate, or just a super highway?
We haven't had this conversation, but it's gonna be necessary for us to kind of. I'm a big census guy. I was on the governor's panel for the census and for the 2020 census, I believe. And excuse me, we can check that. I don't remember. But one of the big things that was my, big punch was they keep calling us undercounted. They keep calling us hard to count, but they're not coming up with ways to reach us. And I said, look, the only way you're going to really do that is through the media, because this is where it's happening. And this is where people get their information. And I've got some other things that we're going to talk about in terms of how we meet that. So we're going to be ready for the next census. And I believe that we're going to have to take a special census, which hasn't happened since the late 1800s. I think there's going to be a need to, with what's happening in our country and with the turnaround that it's taken. I am so glad that we found you. We had a partnership, but I didn't know how deep it was going to be until you started working with me during This Is My Country. And you just made it crystal clear to me, well, wait a minute, this is what we do, man.
Right.
And black people communicate through music. We learn, we're inspired by it, we're mobilized, and it comes to bring hope in the early civil rights days. We shall overcome the Africans that were escaping enslavement through the underground tunnels, wade in the water. Music, and an old anthem, "This Is My Country." Backed up by the hard work and the struggle of African Americans, which this country was built on. We built the Capitol. We built the White House.
Yeah.
I mean, so to talk about that in a way that takes ownership. And then we talked about doing something a little bit later where it considers the Latinos and the Aztecians, those people who came and brought such force to this land. I'm just so, man.
And to your point, like, once you hear the lyrics, the first time I heard the lyrics and watched the video, the beta, I was just like, wow, I can't believe this was written in the 1940s, but the words resonate to what's happening today.
Yes.
And they'll probably resonate in 20, in 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
The plight, why are we talking about this, these racial injustices? Why is it important for us to come together as a nation, the diversity, the inclusion of and everyone to participate? So, and again, we're down to 5-6 weeks down to the election time, and it's probably one of the turning points of this nation. I think we're fighting for the soul of this nation.
Well, I believe that we have to keep the flame of the nation alive. And the song starts, "What difference if I hail from north or south, or from the east or west?
Right. Yeah.
My hand is over my heart for all of these. All of us matter." And this was a prophecy that was brought into fruition by Dr. King. He talked about it no longer being about civil rights, but it was going to be about the human rights of all people. And I think that we're there. In making, Edgar, in making This Is My Country, I thought about, I said, how do we do this? First of all, I wanted to do the gospel approach, and then the whole pretty. But then something spoke to me, and I heard the voice of Paul Robeson, and he said, "No, you need to sing it raw, and you need to sing it with depth, and you need to sing it the way it was written, because it answers the call to your understanding their principle, and you're saying to them, listen, if you're serious about this, make it right." Okay, so we're making them respond. So can we should play a little
Why
bit.
shouldn't we? Yeah, why shouldn't we listen
Yeah.
to the anthem
Yeah,
right now?
let's-
It's a great opportunity to revisit the lyrics
You
and
gonna
just
recite
listen.
it?
Yes.
I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's do it. What difference if I hail from north or south, or from the east or west? My hand is over my heart for all of these. I only know I swell with pride, and deep within my breast I thrill to see Old Glory paint the breeze. This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge you my allegiance, America, the bold. Oh, this is my country to have and to hold, to have and to hold, to have and to. My country, 'tis a free, sweet land of liberty, to have and to
So, Pastor, just tell me, like, what made you revisit the anthem? It was written in the 40s. Why now?
Well, one of our producers gave me an idea. He said, "Why don't you record an anthem and dedicate it to the hard work of Black people?" And then that he said that to me like on a Wednesday, and then on Saturday I got a call from one of the people that I know from the NAACP, and they're part of the Black Caucus group. They said, "What we need is an anthem, something that's going to stir Black people. And will you try to do this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if I have time." And da 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 da. He said, "You know what? We can't get anybody else to do it." And I'm thinking that I said, "Well, why you always come to me? Because they can't get nobody else to do it." So anyway, that's how that was birthed. But when we opened it up, when I opened it up and I looked at it and I revisited it, my heart began to swell, and I said, "We can do this." And I just, here we are. One thing led to another, and blah, 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 blah. And my team got together, and they got behind me. We put together some singers, and my music director, Robin Gordon Jr., who was phenomenal, helped me put all the voices together, and Don Pope in Louisiana, and another brother in Los Angeles. We just got together, and we did it together with Yuri Sherritt at Sherritt Studios. It was just a blessing. It's the bomb.
And if you haven't heard it, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So please,
On YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
Go there.
Go there. Go to the
This is my
pastor's
country.
channel. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to give you the information right now. Do it. Go and listen to it. And make other people go too. Don't hold them at gunpoint, of course, but do something.
Please share.
Yeah,
That's
please
part of
share
it.
Yeah.
Let's share.
Well, Kamala Vice President Harris, which will be respectively President Harris. I believe that she's bringing a fresh and integral turn in the atmosphere. And I think this is a time for us to get the real messages of inclusion out there. And people like you and I, who have a mission to serve the underserved and to lift up those marginalized voices, have a big job to do. What do you think?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree, more with you. And like I said, we're at an important part, part of history of this country, and it's how do we move forward. We've been going through a divisiveness over the last 8 years or 6 years,
200 years.
Well, yes, if we go back over 200 years, and it is incredible that we're still talking about this. We make some gains, and it seems every once in a while we go back. And it's to me, it baffles me that we can't continue to evolve as humans, evolve as a nation, and getting past certain what I would consider like just minor differences, which is the color of our skin. We're all human. We're all people. But again, I have a different mindset. But I think like you said, Vice President Harris is bringing this fresh air. It's just like new hope. It actually makes me think of President Obama when he came in, and it's like, this is something completely new. Again, way past the color of his skin. Yeah, we have the potential to have the first African American black president, but the man was incredible. Simply just a breath of fresh air, and so inspiring. And so Vice President Harris is doing exactly the same. I think we're going back in that time where we can find a source of inspiration, and just like the anthem is saying, like, how do we come together as a nation to build forward, not backwards?
Well, this is the opportunity to talk about diversity and equity and inclusion, the big DEI, because that DEI aspect of the American dream that we kind of chiseled out in the 60s, and the civil rights movement made the envelope move forward a little bit by creating the diversity and equity and inclusive laws in the campuses of our schools and our government, etching a place for systemic racism to take a step back. Well, now that's over. They've taken it out of every college campus. They've taken it out of every government office. So this is the perfect time for the unsettling force, Martin Luther King's dream, the real dream that said, there's going to be an unsettling force. Those were his words. And it's going to be loosed upon the shores of this country. And that unsettling force is going to be people that look like you and me and our Jewish friend down the street and our white brother down the street. We're all in the same bag. We're 2 months behind being evicted and completely annihilated from the earth, so to speak. And so we're all in trouble. So we're going to need each other.
Absolutely, 100%. And we already need each other. We've come together as a nation in times of disaster. So I think for us also it's a great opportunity to not utilize just disaster as an excuse to come together and glue as a nation, but in times of prosperity, let's come together and let's help the least or the disadvantaged or the least advantaged. And like I said, when we started from looking for a company, like, what are we going to do? What's our mission in life? It's not to make money. I mean, you can make money all the time, or you can create an app, or you can create all these things. But if you help the person or the people that don't have the same advantages that we had, I mean, it's a great opportunity again to set an example. It's like, look, we're fortunate. Let's give back to the community.
The important piece is voting.
Yes.
The cornerstone of our democracy, and it's under siege. Just to give you an idea, Texas has purged 500,000 eligible voters. Oklahoma eliminated 193,000 voters, and in Georgia, they're now requiring 5.6 million votes to be counted by hand. This is gerrymandering at its worst. Over 100,000 polling stations in Black and Latino neighborhoods have been shut down. And what we're seeing is a systemic attack, a racist attack on people. And it's not just black people, it's people that are in marginalized and disenfranchised communities, black, brown, and gray. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I say black, brown, and gray, that means old people. Who we've thrown aside. We've forgotten about our elderly.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
a big piece that we're not talking about either. And we're going to have to bring that to the forefront. Hell, I'll be 90 one day, maybe.
We hope. Yeah.
Well, if I'm able to take myself and wipe my own butt, I'll be cool. But it's no longer just a political issue.
No.
You know.
And those are like you mentioned, systematic approaches to dismantling or trying to impede the progress on our democracy. Our nation's changing, and it's not going to stop. We're a more diverse nation than 200 years ago, so that's inevitable.
And we're going to have to kind of figure out how to do that. So
yes.
I tell you what, I'm a baby boomer. I weighed 10 pounds, 13 and a half ounces, or whatever that is. So I'm a big baby boomer. As a matter of fact, when I said boom, the first time I ever experienced racism is when I came out of my mother's womb and a white man smacked me on my butt. But we got the message. We understood. We bridged the gap between what should have been and what was. I'm a civil rights baby. And every time I see Martin Luther King on TV at 6, I'd be like, wow, who is that? It resonated to me. So we were the regenerative force
yes.
that would carry the message. And then we've got the millennials. I think that's your group, isn't it?
No, I'm a little bit older.
Oh, you're a little bit older. What group are you in?
Generation X. Yeah.
The X's got a really important job because those are the tech people.
Yeah.
Those are the people that got real savvy. They had to because,
we grew up with, the beginnings of video games, early computers. I mean, we got our first computer when I started programming when I was 12.
Wow.
I started in BASIC. And then COBOL.
I don't know what basic or programming is.
That just outed my age, to the people that.
This next generation, what are we talking about coming up behind us? That's I think it's going to be our last generation of people. That's what I think.
I think the generation. What are they called? The
Gen
Z's. Gen Z's.
Gen Z's. Yeah. That's scary to me. Okay, so it's all hands on deck from the baby boomers because we still, excuse me, y'all, we still have some life left in us, to the Xers, which have all, you still got some venom and some, look, I need to kick your butt and get you in gear. And then the next generation is going to say, hey, we got to do this, people, so let's go. Yeah. And I just think it's going to be lights out after that.
I don't know. It's also pretty exciting looking at new technologies like AI, AR, like augmented reality, artificial intelligence. There's some really cool pros that if they're applied in the right way, we could see. I mean, we've already seen exponential growth in the last 20 to 25 years in terms of technology, transportation, communications, and we can do that in the next 15 years.
Okay,
exponentially. But again, there's also pitfalls with that.
You've given me hope.
It is. I mean, I'm excited. I'm trying to be optimistic and not to do go the Terminator way where AI consumes us and then we just become capsules and being absorbed by technology. But I think we're going to see a lot of really interesting things coming up in the next 5 to 10 years with AI.
I'm excited about what you do at Clicker. I'm excited about this next step in technology and where we're moving to. I'm very excited about our new president, Kamala Harris. because ain't nothing else happening. I don't have to knock on wood. I ain't got to pray to the angels. I know that she's coming, and she's coming with a vengeance, but we're going to have to be ready. And it's going to take the unsettling force people. It's going to take people like you and me who have an understanding that things just ain't right. And it's not going to have to take the big brain people. It's not going to take those people that have the large degrees or the big presences in government or what have you. It's going to take the common person, you and I, who stay at home and go to work and do what we need to do to survive. You, we the people. This is our country. And to all of you African American and those of you who are black voters that don't think that your vote count, well, trust Uncle E.D. It does. And we need you. I'm so glad that you were able to be with us today, Edgar.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Like I said, it's been an honor. It's been so great. And I'm really looking forward, to the next six to 8 weeks to hear, what happened, because I think this is the beginning of a movement. So
we're coming back.
So
You're coming back.
Yes.
And you're going to tell us what we need to do to prepare in a very common way with just what we do from our home computers and how and what much
on our
how
phones.
Much, how much power we have there. And you're going to have to teach me first so that I can be ready for the next show. Listen, it's so good for you all to have joined us tonight on Mondays with Mondene. And I want you to understand something. Until we get it together on the bottom, we never be able to rise to the top. When you stir from the bottom, guess what? Everybody rises. Thank you for listening tonight. And there's some people that I want to point out. I want to shout out to our sponsors, Post Shines, not just a restaurant, but an institution located at 8139 North Denver, right here in the Kitten District. And you can expect the best soul food this side of slapping your mama. We got aunties and tanties daycare services. They're just like mama, and, well, they don't slap you on your butt. But anyway, it works out. Adorn Electric, all this light in here, they lit it up for us, and we're grateful for their support on this podcast. You can visit me right here on Sunday mornings at Celebration Tabernacle, 8131 North Denver. And a special thank you to our production team, Dion, Robin, Andy, and Paul. Shout it out. Not one of them is bigger than the other, and guess what? They all short but think they stand tall. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and followers. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing for Mondays with Mondene, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, wait a minute. Facebook is over there, and YouTube is over there. One more time, thank you for tuning into Mondays with Mondene. And remember, it's not just about the music, it's about the message. And we got to keep the conversation going. We have to make a difference, one beat at a time. And until next time, keep spreading the love. Peace. I talk about a lot about knowing where you came from to know where you're going. Well, I came from the projects of St. Louis, Missouri, and I ended up into the majestic mountaintops of Portland, Oregon. It's been a wonderful journey, and Lewis and Clark took that journey from St. Louis to Portland, and I took it too. It talks about who I am, and as I'm with you often in cyberspace or on websites or on the, what do you call it, social media, I want you to know a little bit about me and who I am. This book talks about my fantasies, my failures, my triumphs, and more than that, it talks about the resiliency of being able to continue to go forward regardless of the odds. I'd get a copy. It's called From Maladies to Melodies. And I hope that you enjoy it and give me some feedback. God bless.
Hey, it's time for you to come to Post Shine. Check out that catfish sandwich. Oh my goodness, is that the shrimp po' boy? Man, look at that chocolate chip cake. Man, I need to get over to Post Shines at 8139 North Denver right now because this food looks delicious. Or call if you'd like, 503-978-9000. And don't miss it, you'll be sorry.
In times gone past, we find ourselves making excuses so that people reminded, ooh, I've got to get get home and tend to the brand new missus. I need some time alone. Can't just wait until I finish texting on my phone.